everybody. We are back.
Hello.
Hi. Um, and I guess we'll start off by introducing ourselves. Probably be the best way to start, right? So I'll start. I am Rage Panda Pajamas, or just Panda, and I was director of the series as well as the editor, and I also created some of the art as that's not the character art. And then Popcorn Dusty.
Hello, I'm Dusty. I use they he pronouns. I play Juanita Estrada, who uses she they pronouns. Um, my film loving, blockbuster working, just awkward lesbian.
Jeannie?
I am Janie. I played Whitley, and I am really bad at introductions and this kind of thing.
You're good. And of course, Supriya.
Hey, I'm Supriya or Zoop. My pronouns are she, her, and I was playing Shreya Joshi, whose pronouns are also she, her, and she is just hardworking kiddo looking to get into an Ivy League school just like her sister so that she can become the Surgeon General someday.
And she's smarter than all of us.
She
We
really
established
is.
that canon.
She really is.
All right, so our first question is what do you miss most about 2005?
Ooh, this is
The lack of responsibility of being in like school.
Yeah. I miss rolling backpacks. That was a good time.
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
Everybody had rolling backpacks and you would like fight each other in the hallway and your ankles got hurt all the time. I went to a really high congestion high school. High school had 3,600 people. Like it was a lot of people.
backpacks for some reason
A
apparently.
lot of backpacks. Yep.
Jeez. In all honesty, I miss love.
Wow.
This is going to sound weird.
I miss being deeply in love.
That's so deep.
This is going to sound so weird, but there was like a McDonald's in the Walmart where I worked. I could just go there on my lunch breaks and breaks and just, have McDonald's. And
Yeah.
now there's nothing, nowhere where you could just like sit down and chill out with a book for, like a half hour or something.
I missed the
That's
third
real.
place. 100%
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
third place. Going to the mall.
So for
The
me, I had
mall.
to redo my senior year because of health issues, but I had already gotten into college. So the second time I did my senior year, I had all of the fun of senior year and none of the stress.
Wow.
And it was amazing. But that's not a normal. That's not a normal thing. Well, I recognize that. But that was a highlight year for me.
Yeah. And I also miss animated movies in 2005. Those are the golden days, man.
Oh, anime.
They don't make movies, anime and like
Cartoon.
even Disney like way
I miss
better.
snow.
Yeah.
There's like no snow anymore.
I I as someone that grew up in SoCal, I couldn't relate.
Well,
Grew up in
let me
Texas.
tell you, there used to be snow here in Massachusetts during the winters, and it was great because you'd like throw snowballs at your friends and all sorts of stuff, and now the snow is gone like the dinosaurs.
Like the
Yeah,
dinosaur.
that's so real.
What was your favorite 2000s teen show?
Oh gosh.
Mine was Lizzie McGuire's, bar none.
Lizzie McGuire is good.
Define
I
teen show.
Like where it's geared toward teens. So
I think I
like
was watching anime.
yeah.
I mean, anime could be geared towards teens.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it is.
I was reading a lot of manga at that time.
Hell yeah.
Sailor Moon was 100% for teenagers.
Oh,
I
Sailor
think I
Moon.
think I think
That's a
we're
good
gonna go
one.
with Sailor Moon.
Oh, you're my cat.
Just barely.
She's meowing for my partner who's taking a nap.
Oh.
Um, so I'm trying to think of just like the mid 2000s. There was actually a huge period of time where I just is who I am as a person. I stopped watching TV for like
Mhm.
I think a decade,
I hear the
like if
cat
not
now.
longer. Yeah, yeah. Horchata misses their dad. When okay, someone else talk for a second.
Jeannie, what about you? What's a 2000 show that you really liked? It didn't even have to be teen show.
You're
You're muted.
I'm trying to think like what was on TV back then. 'Cause I would have been watching probably CW.
Scrubs was on. Uh Buffy was on.
So yeah, I think I was thinking Buffy. I think
Yeah, I
Buffy
watched
Yeah.
was
Buffy.
my answer.
That was over in like 2000 and wasn't that over in 2002 or 3?
It finished early, but it moved into the Angel series around this time.
Mhm,
Mm.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I watched that and I watched Charmed.
I love Charmed.
Oh, you know what for me? I'm remembering now. Heroes.
Oh,
That was
I-
a good show.
Yeah,
So
season 1 specifically.
and I
my
watched this
issue
soap
with
opera all the time
Charmed
called Passion.
Charmed was so white. Was
It
because
was.
I watched this like when I was older and I was like,
Yeah.
there's literally no one of color in this.
It was the
whole thing.
whitest show.
It
It's
is
true.
so white.
But yeah, now that I'm remembering, I watch Passions all the time.
That sounds
Like I
about right.
recorded it was this really kind of wild soap opera that I don't know how it got greenlit and how it stayed on the air for so long.
It sounds like your average telenovela.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it was it had a witch. It had this girl who sold her soul to get a boyfriend,
Oh.
and she ended up
Is this
like
not a telenovela?
and like switching places with her cousin who she was fighting with the boyfriend over. Um, there was like this person who stalked this rich guy until he married her, who wanted to marry her, but then it was really, really a weird show, and it had like a doll, a talking doll.
Dusty, you writing this down? Are we
What do you mean writing this down? This is already in my notes.
Pretty it is.
Out this
Um,
I think it started in '99, it ended in 2008, so it's definitely a
wow.
early 2000
Wow.
show.
I
The only show I recognize on this list is Bones.
Oh, I watched that.
wow.
I didn't realize Bones was that old. Oh man.
Yeah, Bones is pretty old.
I that was times like I personally I didn't watch TV on my own. I watched it with like my fam.
Yeah.
So one that I watched with my mom and fell in love with it is the American version of Ugly Betty.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
Yeah,
I watched that later, but I loved it so much.
it's
It's very
really
sweet.
good. It's really good.
It's so cute and so dear.
It's one of my like all times.
Okay, this one is definitely just for you guys. What qualities did your young self have in common with your characters?
See, my family had a TV in almost every room.
Okay. I was smart.
I know, yeah. For like, I'm not. Yeah,
Being the
I'm
nerdy
trying to
kid.
think.
Um, my smart was like eclipsed by mental health, but if I
Kind of.
was as mentally together as Shreya, I think that yeah,
You would be president.
I would be president.
Yeah, but that's so real. um,
Or surge in general. I don't think Shreya would touch politics too much.
that's fair. That's fair. Trying to help people where it matters. I get it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, Juanita and I mean, I put a lot of my super awkward self into them. Where like they're they're like the friend that like always like tries to get stuff together, but also just like if they interact with people not in their friend group, um, because like so rad, dude.
Yeah.
Uh, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And being nerdy in the more different way. I like I'm surprised. I've always been a nerd. Um, so as a kid, like it was definitely more um, like trading cards and like video games, much more so than it was like now as an adult because I didn't have responsibility and I had free time. So, but like Juanita, like obviously like the movie stuff, which like is also young me. I was super into like amateur film uh, as a teenager, and like I still am. But obviously, like again, you had the time to actually go do that and
Mhm.
go practice with like this weird camera you found at a garage sale that was from the USSR, not
Mhm.
Russia, the USSR.
The next question's just for me. It says, you pre-recorded the series. Can you walk us through your editing process and how do you pick what stays and what goes? Well, first of all, I don't recommend doing one of the things I did, which is doing it all night. And trying to do it all in one sitting. Don't do that. But we recorded it all in Squadcast so that everybody's um audio and video were all separated, so I was able to just put everybody separately, and then I could mute parts that like, maybe somebody was laughing while someone was talking, so I would like probably just mute their audio or lower their audio. So a lot of stuff like that. For the most part I didn't worry too much about the video cuts looking awkward because I was like, if it fits the flow, that's fine. It doesn't matter that there's a blip in the moment of the video. I don't think anyone's going to care about that. But yeah, as far as like what stays and what goes, it was a lot of just like there were a couple moments where we would like go through a whole thing and then be like, "You know what? We didn't like that. So we're going to go back and do it a little different." And that was for the most part a lot of stayed in. I didn't cut a whole lot. There was just a couple of moments that it was like, "Eh, we don't need to go that much detail," like, and we went really detailed with a lot of stuff. I was like, the outfit conversation probably took 20 minutes, but like, it was good. I loved it. I think it was great. It was a great moment. So, um, yeah, editing I think is a better way to do things as far as TTRPG. Pre-record is a lot better because I felt like all of us felt a lot less pressure to like get it right the first time. Like you're allowed to be like, no, 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 I want to do that again or something like that, and that I think fosters really good role play. Um, this person says, I don't have a question. I just want to say how great it was to have a game like this with all queer and all POC cast. Yep, that was something I looked for. I told Grant I was like specifically I want all POC, and I was even like I want all Daishi cast as well. So Grant delivered. um what was everyone's favorite part of the series?
I think my favorite in game, my favorite move was when Shreya ran up the stairs and blocked the teacher in on the roof.
Mhm.
Cause she was like, "Ain't no way I'm losing points on I would rather engage in some petty crime than lose points."
And then Mr. McGuire, the the custodian, like, I ain't no snitch, and just walking off. Such a good moment. What about you, Janie?
I was thinking because there's a lot of great moments.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I could say my favorite episode was the second episode. Um Also I had the most time to prep for the second episode. But it I it just I just really enjoyed adding the every single one of the little click sounds for the walkie-talkies. It just
Yep.
added so much to the humor of those moments, especially Juanita. Just every time was like, I don't know why. Like, and I would add blips in the middle of them talking because it was like I just imagined them like click click.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not done that. And then like I imagine Shreya on the other end is like, dang it, stop talking.
I did like the moment when Jamal showed up and Whitley was just like, "Oh,
It's you.
That was good. That was good. Um, I really enjoyed episode 2 as well because it's just like all like the silly movie humor and like bits and like I knew as soon as like some stuff started I knew where it was going, but I love playing into it.
Mhm.
So, my favorite like bit is every time Whitley and Jamal interacted.
Yeah.
It was without fail always just like I had to mute because I was laughing. It's like JD, you're very good at just doing the O, was just like trying to be nice, but obviously incredibly disappointed with the seeing this person.
Janie's me trying to work retail. It's like, oh, I really, I just like, I really want to talk to a manager because I'm really, oh, okay.
All right,
Like, oh, all right.
sure.
Um,
You're here again.
yeah, oh, all right. Oh, I guess we can hang out. You want to go on a date or something? Uh. Um, the next question actually kind of relates. What is the player's favorite bits from the season, and what is my favorite bit? Um, my favorite bit I did say was the walkie-talkies. I really like the walkie-talkies, but I also really enjoyed the moments between Maya and Juanita. The the I loved adding like I don't know if you guys got to watch that part, but I added like this like nice soft romantic music as they're
I
laying on
did
top
not.
of each other and then it cuts out like really suddenly. That was my favorite bit.
Um, I think that the changing of the dresses.
The 27
was-
dresses
Great
bit.
That was
Yes.
fun.
Which I don't know if anybody in the audience caught on, but that was 100% inspired by 27 Dresses, which I was obsessed with in college for no reason. So
I still haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to now.
it's
though.
not that good.
Good.
It's just your average like movie.
It's a
That
very
came-
average
on-
rom-com, but it's mostly about the female protagonist being like really annoyed with this dude, and then eventually they get together and it's like the most hokey thing.
It's the
It's like-
same as the other ones that came out at that time with the same actress. I think she just
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Same guy too.
Yeah, it's literally like the movie that's just like always a bridesmaid, never a bride. It's literally like
Yeah. Very literally.
she made like that. There was another one where she was with like it was the same guy or one that looked like him, and they
Mhm.
did the same plot basically. I mean, it wasn't Dresses, it was something else, but
You
And
can
if I'm
watch
mixing
it,
up my
27
actresses-
Dresses on Netflix.
Yep.
I
if
have
I'm
to-
missing my actresses and actors, I'm sorry. They just kind of all blend together sometimes.
from that era. No, you're so
Fine.
valid.
It's true. They all look the same.
I want to say with the whole Juanita and Maya bit, I loved playing just so oblivious to Maya, just so clearly flirting. And when he was like, "Yeah, that's cool," um, but we need to find this.
They were very cute.
I really liked the scene where Whitley was driving the car, and I
Oh,
wrote really well, and the cake just kind of ended up perfectly.
that was
Oh,
such a
yes.
great mechanic moment too, because that's how that mechanic is supposed to work in the game, and it just fits so perfectly. Like shout out to Flabbergasted and how that's written, because like that specific ability is like you failed, but you failed successfully, and I'm like, yes, I want to see that somewhere. It has to happen, and it was a great moment. I was really happy that finally happened. But also don't drive tired, guys. Should have put a disclaimer somewhere. Don't drive.
Please
Okay.
don't drive. Fall.
Also, don't
That's
have
right.
two parties beside each other at the same time.
That's also good advice.
Yeah.
I will say, having worked in the event industry, it happens a lot more than you would want it to. I've had a legitimate moment where it was very similar to this, where we had it wasn't quinceañera, but it was like a corporate party, like it was like their end of year party or something, and then also an Indian wedding happening at the same time, and oh my, the chaos, the amount of people, the amount of like the both of them had their musics blaring, and I mean, I was just like I'm just babysitting. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the weirdness.
I'm like immediately like, screw the corporate shit.
Oh, the
Real.
Indian wedding
Turn
was
down
gorgeous.
their music.
The well, and that's the thing, is that they couldn't hear each other. It was when you were in the hallway that I was like,
Oh.
Oh yeah,
the rooms themselves are wonderfully proofed. So, but yeah, when you get in the hallway and you're getting like a little bit in the middle of them, you're like,
Two
What's
different
happening?
languages going on at the same time.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that too, and it's like, cool. And what are the friend group's senior quote? Ooh, what's your senior quote? That's a really good question. We should have gotten these earlier, Grant. I had to think too hard about that one.
I don't remember mine. I'm sorry.
Well,
What
what
would
would
Whitley's
be?
Whitley's be? Yeah.
Um, what would her quote be?
I think mine was something really stupid, and it was like a poem I had written on All Poetry. And I was like, that'll be deep.
Oh my god, I found my high school poetry, and it was poetry slash song lyrics,
Hmm.
and it was so bad. Like I literally found it like 2 weeks ago, and I read it, and the cringe was
You know, you
so bad.
you know what I just realized? I recently found my high school yearbook. Let me grab it really quick. I don't remember what mine was. Let me go see.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cringe was so bad that I like reflexively threw it in the recycle bin.
Oh,
It
dude,
is
I've
it,
thrown away a lot of my crap that my
it
mom
is
kept.
gone. Oh, I did find though from middle school, I did find a what do you call it? A fanfic I wrote that was a little bit of a self-insert. I believe what I figured out, I think what happened is that like everyone in my friend group, I was like, okay, each of you tell me about your character. And so I put all the characters in there and then their corresponding anime crushes and was like, this is a place in a world between universes, and so all of the different anime characters could all be there at the same time, and it was that I didn't throw away. It was more funny than cringy.
You were like, you're going on the shelf.
I will revisit you, unlike the deep, what I thought was deep songwriting poetry.
Real life challenge. Publish something that is from your middle school, high
Oh,
school days.
I
Whew.
Oh no,
I think
Right?
absolutely not.
I was
I think
so
Whitley's
upsetting.
quote would have been really boring about something about school, something her parents picked.
Mm.
Oh.
Hmm. So Juanita's, I think Juanita's would probably be something, um, probably like a movie quote from
Mhm.
something, just because that's just how she spent most of her high school in general. What movie? I don't know. I think it would be funny if they did something from The Room.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Or it would just be like, "Oh, hi, doggy."
There you go.
So my uh, high school did Words to Live By. I'm remembering this now because my friends are just like, that's weird. I just put, "Don't take life too seriously. No one gets out alive, anyways." which really,
Damn.
which really change like shows just like that's like very. That's a very hard, different and person from me now.
Wow, dude. You have you have hair over your eyes in your senior photo.
No, that was my junior year.
Oh, gotcha.
Nice.
You grew out of that.
I
Oh
think
man.
Shreya's would be like every small step of a woman is a leap for mankind.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, she would. That's great. Um, what is the friend group's favorite movie and what is the cast's favorite movie?
I don't think the friend group has an um in agreement on what the favorite movie
Yeah.
is for sure.
So I
Yeah,
think
absolutely. I don't think it would be.
I think every movie that Whitley saw, she would think it was like real at some point. Like she actually all watched Scream. She probably would have like suspected somebody at school of being Ghostface. Or like how she kept thinking Jurassic Park was real.
It's a documentary.
Which is my favorite movie by the way, but she
Yeah.
yeah, she really thought that the iguana could have, been on
Laid
the
eggs. She changed. She was a boy. Now she's a girl.
What is it? Earlina?
Erldwina?
Earldwina.
Lena.
Hmm. I think I think Juanita's favorite movie would be like they obviously really enjoyed The Room, but I don't think they would say that's their favorite movie. I think because it's something that they probably would have watched with their mom if it had come out at the time. I'm just checking now. Um, come on, Google. You failed me so many times before. Don't do it right now. Yes, okay. It would be the Selena movie.
Mm.
It came out in 97.
I think it
Wow.
would have to be some Bollywood film. Because I think Shreya is probably much more in tune with Deshi culture than I was at that time. Um, I like one of the beautiful things about the world that we created was that it was so multicultural. And
Mhm.
I'm sure that there are people who had that experience, who had that like where they were able to simultaneously engage in their own culture as well as engage in like a multicultural aspect. For me, I grew up in very white towns and very white schools. So, you know, every bit of like Desi culture that I experienced was kind of like an act of rebellion against like the like on one hand I was rebelling against my parents by being very white, but on the other hand I was like rebelling against like all of the white kids by like, whatever, celebrating Diwali or whatever. Um so I really like this idea of Shreya living in this world where um she has uh friends who aren't Indians but also has like a Deshi like um a part of her identity is very Deshi.
Mhm. Yeah, and we even talked at one point before the final episode recording that we were like, well, does this like community have a really strong Indian community? And we were like, yeah, why not? Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
absolutely.
have to be, a like a realistic American suburbia. It can be an
Right, there
idealistic.
are like realistic. There are definitely like the town that my parents currently live in does
Hmm.
have like a very strong
Yeah.
Indian population. It's just the towns that I grew up in, the first towns that they decided to live in didn't. But there are definitely um towns with a lot. But what I liked was there are it's a town with a good Deshi population, but she also wasn't like only hanging
Hmm.
out with like other Indian kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think Whitley's favorite movie was, well, she probably has two. One of them would be a musical on TV. It was called The Five Heartbeats, about a band in like this a long time ago.
Mhm.
And I think probably something like Honey. Was that movie? I think that movie was out then.
Think
Oh,
so.
maybe.
It was a dance movie with Jessica Alba in it, and it was just really kind of a
It would
generic.
have just come out. It was 2003.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, she would probably love that movie just because it was really popular with girls around that time. I
Yeah. Wow. I
probably
remember
really
seeing
watched
this.
probably really watched the dancing scenes a lot, most likely.
He skipped up. I will say, early 2000s me was obsessed with the Goofy movie. I watched
I
that
mean,
movie. I also watched Cats, the musical, 100 times. I was a theater kid from like uh I think it was like 6th grade on. So like like the minute I could start doing theater, I went full ham into it. And so like that Cats VHS, two VHSs because that's how long it was. Uh the first half was on one VHS, the second half was on another one. I wore those out so bad my parents had to buy me a new one. Um I also watched all the extra features on DVDs that I could. I just absorbed everything that I could, like and my parents didn't know. How did they
so
not
real,
know?
so real.
Um, what slice of life from the players do you wanna see in the future? Ooh, kinda slice of life APs.
What?
So, like, we would
Mm.
count this as, like, a slice of life actual play.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
like, would there be other slice of life APs do you wanna see in the future?
yeah. I want to see this group as college students.
That would be cute.
Yeah, I don't think they would all go to. Well, would Whitley and oh my god,
Shreya.
Shreya. Yeah, so like my brain just broke. Would they go to the same college?
Would they both go to Hellman?
No, no,
But she has
no.
to.
They would
That's
go
like
to different colleges.
So, it would have to be, like, a summer break after, like, freshman or sophomore year of college, you
Uh,
guys get together. That's an interesting idea.
that's fun. That's fun. Like the summer break.
No, do you think they break up?
Oh, why would you
oh,
say that? Because they're not at the same college.
Yeah, because that happens a lot.
but maybe they go to like neighboring colleges.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's
Growing up is
future.
hard, y'all. Growing up is hard.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I say that, but like, I mean, they're 18, 19 at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
they're
yeah,
like
that's like,
16, like definitely. Chances are they would not stick together, but I like to think that even if they don't end up together, that they would be friends, like you
Mhm.
fast forward to 30s and they would still be great friends.
Okay.
Or they're in a polycule, one of the 2.
Oh,
there you go. Oh,
that's one way to
oh.
deal with it.
What if it was like it was kind of like slice of like spring break, but like I've only seen clips of the show and I have no intention of watching it, but there's a current show right now that's doing like sitcom like King of Queens
Hmm.
style sitcom, but then like from the husband's perspective, and every time it goes to the wife, it becomes like a
Yes!
tense drama.
Kevin can go fuck
Uh,
himself.
there you go. Yeah. And
It's
like
so good.
I think that would be fun for like we do this slice of life as like college students, but then like there's like a scene cut and like we're all like struggling with being an adult. Like
It's the oh god, that would be so deep. That would be so dark.
yes, it
Oh.
would.
It would
I
get
don't
so dark so fast.
like I love these little like gays, but like growing up's hard. Like Zuby just
Yeah.
said, growing up's hard.
Growing up
Yeah,
is so
anything
hard.
coming of age, I love. I'll eat up coming of age all day long. I even read a lot of coming of age stories, so
I do have a lot of in terms of like slice of life instead of like like a lot of times you think TTRPGs and you think a lot of combat and the like, and I've been turning twofold. One fold is like only combat, like thinking about comparing combat, and then the other one is like just more and more and more TTRPGs are coming out with like this idea in mind of a more like slow day to day, not necessarily slice of life, because I mean, I don't know how slice of life it is for like a mouse and a raccoon to be hanging out having tea, but
Mhm.
like, you know, um there's a lot of indies coming out that are much more about like dealing with things through the power of friendship and like just getting to know each other and things like that. And I definitely am leaning towards wanting to see more of that and do more of that.
Yeah.
What about like a class reunion?
Oh, that
Oh,
would be
that's
cute.
Class
fun.
reunion would be good.
Uh, I I like that. Like, give me this group's coffee shop at you.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes.
I think that game exists actually.
There is a coffee shop game.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
there's like the one where it's like you're adventurers and it's a hack of that.
Mhm. Mhm. I do also love like um the idea that I've read a lot of books about like this concept, but like the idea of a fantasy world, but the mundane life within that fantasy world.
Yeah.
I love that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Like you're the shop owner or whatever. I love that kind of stuff, and I would love to see more of that. Just
So
real cozy.
I did have a game once that I wrote that I took down. It was called Moms in a Minivan.
Aw.
A bunch of moms just trying to like they had to drive in a minivan and get through the day, and like various obstacles would randomly be put in their way.
That's amazing.
That actually sounds really cute.
Yeah.
I do think it would be interesting to do like a fantasy game where you would have a revolving cast and like the GM would be the tavern keeper.
Mhm.
And so like every episode would be like a new group coming into this tavern, and like they're on their adventures, and so like they're basically having a conversation about whatever that fight was that they just had, or like, oh my god, like they're planning a heist and the tavern
hmm
keeper is
hmm
like overhearing all of this. So like you never see what happens, but you hear just like you would like overhear in a coffee shop.
It sounds like something that
Grant, what are you talking
Grant,
about?
Grant,
coming up.
what are you saying?
You have to wait 2 more weeks to hear about that.
It also, I'm even thinking like taking it one other step and being like, what if this is like a podcast where you bring people on to talk about their campaigns, and it's like you're the tavern keeper, and they're because then it's like you're just talking about your game. You don't have to
Yeah.
make anything up. It's literally you're just talking about what happened in your own campaign.
Wow, that does sound like such a cool, fun
Such a cool
idea.
idea.
But like that I mean, I remember the name Stewpot is kind of like that, where
Yes,
I think
yes,
that would
hot.
yeah, where it would be like the group and like basically you would just be playing it as someone interacting with this group, telling all that,
Mhm.
which I think would be that's like a really like fun idea to just kind of you have all these groups and like you get to just bring players and just make shit up. You don't have to worry about trying to do the mechanics of doing that. Just like your character's like, yeah, when I jumped on top of that dragon
Yeah,
and like
remember?
and did like a sick backflip, that just happened.
Exactly, exactly. Like, oh my god, remember when that plant was like eating your foot off and like I took a giant flaming axe to its face? And like
And yeah, then just like you as the tavern owner were just like, all right, let me make sure I give them some like extra ice for their foot, I guess.
I just want the audience to think about how the line between tabletop roleplay and improv is very thin. It's
Yeah, no,
paper thin.
the difference is the mechanics.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Like
mhm, mhm.
in a tabletop game, there are more mechanics, and like I think the less mechanics you have, like the closer you get to just like an improv game. Another really cool idea that I had was being a therapist for superheroes.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
just every episode is a one-on-one of a therapist with a superhero,
I think after
or
watching The
maybe like
Boys, I don't know.
a therapist with like a group of like if they need like group counseling, a group of superheroes.
That would be pretty sick, actually.
Yeah.
Well, they could be nicer
Um,
heroes than in the boys.
Oh yeah.
oh,
No, I
God.
mean they would be in therapy because they're like they're really struggling you know, I'm like Captain Formidable and I'm just like I just spend every night thinking about the people in that one tower that I threw Granthor into, and it's spidered and cracked, and it's just like,
Guys, make sure you follow Supriya because if you want to be emotionally damaged, they're the person for you. Uh
Yeah, this is all gold,
I'm
by the
close,
way.
but I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to find my way over to that side.
Emotional damage. Um where was I? What question was I at? We were at Freya Slice of Life thing. So if you now could give advice to your character, what would it be? Oh, this is a cute. That's a sweet
Ooh.
question.
You don't have to go to Hillman.
In fact, don't go to college. Just save the money.
I think to Shreya, I would say, sweetheart, you're not always gonna be on top, and it's gonna be okay when you find yourself not on top.
Ooh, what would I tell Juanita? Um,
Kiss the girl.
Kiss the
I think at the end of that they figured that out at least. Um,
girl.
Hope so. After
I know, right? After like, wow, why'd you kiss this drumstick? That's so weird.
this is very unsanitary.
um, I think it would be it's okay to have a life outside of work
Mhm.
because
Ooh.
that's a big thing that I also was trying to put in for Juanita because Juanita um was like working to help because like this is like maybe mentioned but Juanita lives with a single mom and it's just them two and so like the mom's doing fine just well off but like there's still like that sense of responsibility to work and like trying to do that so that's why they're always like either at school or at work and now I think that they're going to be like after senior year or post senior year, even during it, they're going to be focused on that. And just like it's okay to take a breather, please. You'll need it. Trust me. You don't want to be like 27 and having sleep issues.
Or 35 and have sleep issues.
I mean, yes, they'll only get exasperated after that, but yes. But yeah, I think that's yeah.
um then if you're all ready for the last question. The last question was what was your favorite part about working with each member of the cast? And I'll go ahead and start because I have actually been thinking about this. So you guys can have some moments to think. Um, Dusty, just because you're in the order you guys are showing up on my screen. Dusty was so good to pick up on my cues and was so good at predicting what was about to happen and just being like, yeah, this is gonna be a funny bit and just fully playing into it. I appreciate them so much for that. Uh Janie just like committing to like just the level of commitment to the bit was just so good, especially with the Jamal bit. Oh, and then just really driving home that relationship and not going too far with it too fast. That I loved that. And then Shreya, or sorry, I want to call you Shreya for some reason. Supriya was so good at suggesting things and moments. The whole bit with the custodian was 100% on her, and I loved those moments that I was like, I didn't have to think about the bit. Like Supriya just came with it and was like, I, I know what I'm doing.
I'm sorry, my camera's not staying up.
No, you're good.
You're good. You're so good.
Mainly this whole cast, I didn't have to do a lot of probing. It just
Mhm.
came naturally to all of them, and I was like, thank God I don't. It took a lot of stuff off of my hands. I felt like I was more just kind of like nudging them along. They were doing most of it.
I could go.
Yeah.
Um, Janie, I really loved your commitment to the bits. Your like consistent, like sticking with like the feelings. Like, okay, this is you see Jamal. Oh, you're disappointed, and also just like like the playing that you thought that you were being not obvious about being super into Shreya, but that was so fun for me to pick on. Like I know this person, I grew up with them. I get it. Supriya, I loved Shreya. I loved that they're like also just like always you played them that they're always knowing what to do or like at least attempting to know what to do, and if they don't, that they're stuck. Uh, and that was just like so fun to play off of, like challenging situations and like thinking like, oh, obviously I got this until like something like messes it up, and then you're just like, oh, okay, wait, how do we fix this? Or um, I need this to happen right now. I need this to happen right. The bit by locking the teacher, like like yes, someone like Shreya would go out of their way to ensure that hey, I am not getting messed up because it's not my fault, and I'm gonna make sure no one knows that it was someone else's. It wasn't my fault. It was someone else's fault. That bit, very good. And Panda, that was you played off of our ridiculousness very well all throughout. And just like you played into the little things from our characters in each episode, which is very fun. I really loved even the first episode. It's like, oh yeah, you sneak in and you see in the oven there is an iguana, and then you, and like, of course they're gonna freak out. And then it's the iguana shaped bread loaf, which is even more just like, what do you mean? Like, I like concha, so what do you mean? Just like rolling with the punches very well, but also giving us stuff where we could really show off what our character would do. He did that very well. It was very fun. This table was very fun.
Yeah, I wanna take off of that and say that you did an amazing job, Panda, of giving us like scenarios and finding ways to put us in situations that allowed us to, you know, explore our character and like experience like what our character has got going on. Um and Dusty and Janie, I just had so much fun. I love three these three people hanging out together, and I love the idea of this world that we all built together, um where like there aren't barriers. Like we can be who we are and we can be who we are together. And I loved Juanita's I loved, first of all, like Dusty, how much like you could pull out of 2005 so quickly and so well. and just you had all the references, and you know the movies, and you know the tropes and everything, and you bring it all together, and it is so wonderful. And Janie just playing just Whitley and Shreya together, like slowly, like I can see that this has been like a long friendship between them that is like slowly drifted over time. And like, yes, this is the person that I'm most comfortable with, and I felt so comfortable and safe doing that with you, and that was really great.
Um, that's awesome. I Panda, I really did like everything you put together for us. Just like you did really give a lot of opportunities to just kind of showcase the characters, which was great. And the NPCs were all great. Um, I really liked how Juanita was kind of the one who had the head on her shoulders, which we really needed. Especially Whitley, because that girl was a mess.
I love Whitley so much, though.
I do.
And I really liked how Shreya was like the smart one. Felt a little bit bad at the for the two different parties. She was so stressed out.
No, it was so good though.
Yeah, it was great. That's a
It was
little
so
bit bad,
good.
but awesome kind of. And you all are just like a really nice table to play with, and I had so much fun. I didn't want it to stop.
It was nice to play a game where it felt like it was low stakes. So it was like there's no like because a lot of the games that I've DM'd or GM'd have been those high combat games and or games where it's like, yeah, there's a bad guy versus the good guys. There's no bad guy in this. It's just life. And so it wasn't like GM versus the players. It was we're all telling the story together, and this kind of slice of life really facilitates that. And it's just nice to be able to be like, yeah, we're all going to work together to tell a story. I had a completely different plot idea from the beginning that we were like, we don't need to do that. That's not interesting enough. We're going to do something different. I think we were like going to do like a presidential like student president kind of election thing, and
Right, yeah.
as I was trying to write it, I was like, there's no way to do this that would make sense for these characters, because so far we've really established that these characters have no mean streak in their bodies. Like there's not a dime of meanness in any of these characters. So like the only things I could think of for like a presidential election would be like trying to undermine or trying to like, sabotage and anything. I was like, these characters wouldn't do any of that. So there's nothing I like, it would be just them trying to earnestly win. And I'm like, how would I facilitate that? So in the end, I think the two parties just made more sense, especially when we have established this kind of like young love situation, and especially like getting to really showcase the culture of the characters. Um that was something I wanted to do from the beginning. So yeah. Like, all of these ideas came from everybody. It wasn't just, me coming up with the plot. It was, like, all of us sitting down after each session and being like, "So what do we wanna do next? Like, what are these characters gonna get up to next?" And so definitely
And
highly recommend that style.
that's what it is. The characters were all wholesome. We didn't. There
Yeah,
wasn't.
they were just
It
so
wasn't like the
sweet.
mean person. Just
Which was why putting them in a scary scenario was just so much fun.
I think the meanest I got was like yelling at like the troublemakers in episode 1.
Like, don't you better not do that at Blockbuster. Blockbuster's a treasure. It's gonna last forever.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
There is one moment that I really liked, which was when the lights were out and Whitley was freaking out, and Shrey was like, "Just eat a snack. You know, you freak out when you
Yeah, that was
when
cute.
you're hungry." And just having JD accept that as like, yes, this is a thing that does happen to Whitley, and like this is something that Shreya knows, and now it is even more clear that there's a bond between them. It was very nice.
I just can't get over how that second episode is definitely my favorite. I just can't get over how like Whitley went from scared, 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 scared. It's Jamal. Oh. Well,
It's
crap.
like a horror movie.
Like part of me was like, was Whitley like actually enjoying that, thinking they were in a horror film?
Right?
It was more exciting than Jamal, I guess.
I will
I-
say the one really clever thing I came up with was that the emergency broadcast phone thing, that was my idea for, because Dusty brought up the ring at one point before that episode, and so I was like, yeah, definitely doing the ring. And then the emergency broadcast saying 9 days. I was like, yeah, I got this.
I really loved the last episode of like like Juanita. I was playing Juanita like oblivious to being flirted with, but like obviously like recognize what's happening with Shreya and Whitley, and then also definitely recognize what was happening with Jamal. And like I enjoyed that scene. It was just like getting Whitley's like, hey, I think you're both cool, and you should just do it. And then having Jamal just like dip someone at the dance was so good.
We decided when we were coming up with Jamal at the beginning, the note was Jamal was just like the nicest guy. There's nothing wrong with him. He like on paper, perfect boyfriend. She's not into him.
Yeah.
And he's oblivious to it. It was so good. But yeah, I'm just so happy with the whole thing. I'm also glad it's done because I I got tired at the end. I was like, the editing takes a lot of work, guys. Don't edit yourself. I don't like looking at myself that much.
It is so much work.
Yeah. Future, I'm gonna edit for other people, not myself.
Perfect.
Rude.
Now I
Rude.
know who to go to if I need anything.
Here you go.
For this
I got you.
superhero therapist show, yeah.
Yes.
Get together. Let's do it. Let's do it. Is there anything last remarks before I give the final note that Grant has told me to read?
Is the final note about how Grant has strong feelings that he didn't start the fire, that it can't be replicated, and that like it's obviously a masterpiece.
Do not ever try to cover "We Start the Fire."
Never. Don't even think about it.
Don't even
That's
think
actually like
about
thought
covering
crimes
it.
don't exist except for that.
That is
Grant
not
will
right
find you.
there. Grant has a deep freezer that he will keep you in.
Cheer all you want. I'm right. Thank you, Grant. Thank you. Stay tuned for Grant's opinion podcast coming back in
It's called I Started the Fire.
2026.
2026. Not 2025, 2026. We gotta give time. All right. The next Game Master Monday Presents is coming up soon. Tune in this Tuesday for As Meaningless as Stardust, a new system written and GM'd by Sadie Paisley. Paisley?
I'm so excited for this.
I'm
Sadie
so
is
bad at reading.
good.
Why did you do this to me?
Paisley.
Inspired by Little Prince, Yellow Curtain, and paper mache crafts. Oh, the series stars Abaddon.
Oh,
Abaddon from the Exquisite Corpse Presents, Wraith, also from Exquisite Corpse Presents, Jean from Girls Runs These Worlds, and Lex, who you may recall as the GM from Camp Meadowview. The journey through Dream begins October 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Game Master Monday Presents. GM privilege, GM responsibility, sir. Woo!
Ooh,
Thanks,
you did
Grant.
it.
I tried. If you give me a prompter, I'm gonna mess it up. Don't worry. Call me to mess up your prompters. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.
They